Senator Sanders on the resolution.
It's good to see you. I want to thank our Majority Leader. I want to thank her for bringing this great resolution to the floor. We have heard the dynamic words of Senator Benjamin, and he gave an incredible history. And I, too, would like to say a few words about one of my heroes, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Now, it is true that as a historian, I pride myself in sticking with what's true, sticking with the facts of a case. It is true that if you really look, you'll see a flawed person here. You'll see a human being. You'll see a person who is not an angel in every sense of the word. But I am reminded that God often uses the imperfect to do his perfect will, that he does not seek out the perfect people to do it. He seeks out people who are willing and available. And in that period, that is what is needed. And Martin Luther King, the Reverend Doctor, raised himself and did incredible things. Now, many people misunderstand his message. Misunderstanding. In this day and age, you're hearing gross misunderstandings of his message. When we speak of today's events, the significance of Martin Luther King to today's events, we hear people jump up and say, well, Martin Luther King Jr. would have wanted the reconciliation of the nation. That reconciliation right now is the most important thing that we need in our democracy. That yes, something terrible happened on January 6th, but we all need to leave that alone and just go on to wherever people go on when they leave things alone. They misunderstand Martin Luther King's message, I would say, that reconciliation does not mean that you get rid of justice. In fact, indeed, you can't have reconciliation without justice. One of the things that we notice about Martin Luther King, the Reverend Doctor, and the Civil Rights Movement, they took on laws that they felt were unjust, but they also took the consequences of those laws. They did not say, well, I've been called by a higher power, and whatever the power is, and we should not have anything should happen to us based on that. They took the position that, yes, these are the laws of the land. These are unjust laws, but these are the laws of the land, and therefore, we will, if this is a crime in this society, we will suffer the consequences because we are dealing with it. Perhaps an analogy to medicine would be useful. If you find yourself with an injury, you may not like the antiseptic that is used. It stings, it hurts. You may not want it, but you cannot have the healing of that injury without the antiseptic that goes along with it. And I would suggest to you that today's society, we need the antiseptic. To the seditionists of January 6th, they fail to realize the society, that arch of justice that we're talking about, that Martin Luther King talked of, is moving forward. And no matter how much dynamite you may wish to bring, no matter how many nooses and days of the noose that you may plan, we are not going back. We're going forward. My last point is, what did King actually die for? What the point of impact, if you wish. He was fighting for economic justice, my friends, economic justice. He was fighting for it for the lowest of the low in society's terms. Those people who didn't even have a union, sanitation workers, garbage men, as they were called many years ago, sanitation workers who were in pitiful shape in Memphis. They had no place when it rained. They had to sleep in the garbage area of the trucks itself. That was the only place that they could get out of the rain. He put his life on the line for that. We in the New York State Senate must remember these things with our budget. It is we who are tasked to remember the least among us. I conclude with a statement that I believe is useful for us to remember by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Justice. And he taught us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. God bless our new president and new administration. God bless the state of New York. And most of all, God bless America. Thank you very much, Mr. President.